Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to What is Maya? So there's actually, for Hindu Academy, Lakhani, there's actually two of them. One just released 2 days ago. I didn't realize that. I wanted to add this on here to do two videos, because there's two videos that says What is Maya, both from Hindu Academy. I don't know if they're just re-releasing it, because I've not seen it, and I refuse to react to videos that are younger than 30 days. That sounds weird. That's not at least 30 days or older. Much prefer 1 year or older. So this one is back in 2020, but I'm also going to react to another one called just Maya. So this is the first one, What is Maya? I can't believe I've not reacted to Lakhani explaining what Maya is, so let's go ahead and get started. No CC. It's quite loud.
So I have been a little bit unclear on exactly what is Maya. I know it is something that we have to fight against, but I don't understand the meaning or the purpose, etc. So would you be able to explain on this? And maybe some of the viewers may have a similar question, so thinking about it.
Okay, let me give my understanding of Maya, and how perhaps I choose to understand it. So my understanding of Maya thus far has been that this is all, in a sense, an illusion. Maya is an illusion. That this isn't reality. This is not our true selves. Our true selves is Atman. Our true selves is Brahman. We are we're pure consciousness. That's all we really are. Everything is pure consciousness. And the fact that we think that we are this body or that anything in this world is real, it's really not. It's all pure consciousness. That's as far as Maya's illusion. That this we believe that this is real, but it's really not. How I choose to believe it is misunderstanding. It's still roughly the same, but it's a misunderstanding that of what I suppose what we're made out of. Like we are all like as though we're made out of different things, but we're not. We're all, how do I say this? Everything in existence is created by this thing. So all things that exist has atoms, proton, neutron, and there's an electron floating around it. There's something smaller. It's the smallest substance that creates existence, that is existence. And whatever that is in all of us. And the illusion is that we are all different, but in reality we are all the same. We are created by this existence called Brahman, and I can accept that. Now, is Brahman pure consciousness? No, but this is the materialistic point of view, by the way. So we are all created by Brahman. It's the smallest subatomic particle or whatever smallest thing there is that ever existed, nothing smaller than that, and is in everything that exists. It is literally the fabric of creation. Without it, it doesn't exist. If it exists, it has it. Now, about how everything is pure consciousness. Never mind. That's another explanation for a different thing. Kinda. Let's continue.
This one is one of the most beautiful material that come out of Hindu philosophy, and the only resolution to the human condition. Why the pure, pristine Brahman manifests as this cancerous, jagged, cruel world that we can encounter? Why, oh why? And whenever this question has been thrown at the rishis, when people are enlightened, they say, they run away. They say, Maya,
Stumped.
Maya, Maya. That there is a permanent. This is how Swami Vivekananda defined Maya. It's nice for us to explore it. With Adi Shankara, the definition of Maya was as follows. It says an illusion. That's how he defined it. He said, suppose in the evening you're walking and you see a piece of rope, and in the evening darkness you think it's a snake coming to bite me, and you go, you get frightened. He said Maya is the illusion that we hear regarding nature of reality. So that is how Adi Shankara brought in the word Maya. Nothing wrong. That's the best example he could give. And Vivekananda came with a much more deeper vision. He said, do you know what Maya is? It is not some illusion, because illusion you can overcome. Suppose you see you are driving in a road in the desert area, and at the end of it you can see some water sparkling. You say there's water there. It's not. It's just the sunlight that is kind of in a way being kind of diverted from the sky into your eyes and make you feel there's water there. So that you can overcome it. You can use some kind of technology whereby you can overcome that illusion of the water at the end of the road. So that you can overcome. But that is, if you like, Adi Shankara's idea kind of fails or kind of is reduced. So Vivekananda came with a different definition. He said there is a permanent disjoint between what is and what it appears as. Underpinning is Brahman. You see, all this is Brahman, nothing but Brahman. But no, I don't see that. And there's a why not? What's the disjoint? There must be some link. This must be causing that. There's no causal link either. So this disjoint, permanent disjoint, which you cannot overcome, is called Maya. That is why this is called the googly of the googlies. He's saying there is no way you can explain this disjoint that is there with this what is and what it appears as. Now you may think, Mr. Lakhani, and you say, this is Vivekananda who passed away about 100 years back. Now what is your take? My take is even deeper, if you can use that word. You say, I come from physics. And the best example of Maya I discovered is quantum. That's the heart of physics. The physical of most physical science is physics. At the heart of physics sits this phenomena since 1920s called quantum. And people go, don't tell me, don't, just as you said, don't ask about Maya. When you go to any scientist, a genuine scientist, say, explain this quantum, they'll say, go away. Richard Feynman, a very, very astute scientist, a very lovely personality. By the way, he was a womanizer. That's the bad part about it. He used to go around to every university and say, now, what is quantum? Not a single hand would go up from any scientist anywhere in any university. It's still the same. So this idea of Maya that we are kind of struggling with is the same thing being struggled with in quantum physics. And it's not been sorted out now. It's nearly 100 years. Not been sorted out. So what is quantum all about? Maya is saying, underpinning to this reality, despite appearance, it's all physical, surely. Richard Dawkins, all physical, electrons and protons and quarks and all that, and superstring, all that is of physicality. That is how the universe is made of. All these little things can join up together and produce these complex things, including human beings. That's how the purely materialistic vision. And suddenly quantum comes from nowhere and knocks the heck out of it, saying, no. Underpinning to reality says quantum physics, the father of quantum physics, Werner Heisenberg and Erwin Schrödinger, say, we guarantee it's not material. You say, but how do you explain it? See, the same issue. Underpinning something different from what it appears says, what's the link? That's we don't know.
And they have yet to define that.
No, they can't. There's a permanent disjoint between what is and what it appears as. It's called this important issue of, in quantum physics called the wave collapse problem. So this remains there in quantum physics. It's nothing but they're rediscovering Maya using physics. And I love it. I love physics and I love Hinduism. So I'm kind of enjoying this kind of tussle between physics, trying to explain the quantum, and the idea of Maya that comes from the ancient teachings of the Hindus.
Okay, he said a lot there, and I do remember about the rope example from Swami Sarvapriyananda, and and he does delve into the quantum. I was going to say quantum realm, but that's I think that's Ant-Man, quantum physics, and I don't know, there's quantum math and quantum computing. But but quantum computing is like slow right now relative to or compared to modern computers just because of what it has to do. But yeah, oh, and I guess I'll explain the other thing, how everything's in pure consciousness. I guess there are three things. What I think my understanding of Advaita Vedanta of how everything's pure consciousness, Maya's illusion, they're into the materialistic understanding of Maya is basically just a misunderstanding, and that we think that we're all different, but in reality we're all made of the same thing. So that's in Brahman, whatever that particle is or whatever that may be is Brahman, and that's in everything. That's in existence itself. If it doesn't exist, it doesn't have Brahman. If it exists, it has Brahman. And then there's that middle ground where it's somewhere in between the two. It's still part of the materialistic, and it's still the fact that it is all pure consciousness. And what that middle ground is the fact that the only thing you ever experience in this world is all in your head. Never happens anywhere else. And I'm saying that it must be experienced in your consciousness for you to experience it. If you don't experience it in your consciousness, it doesn't matter. It doesn't exist. Because if you can't experience your consciousness, there's no way for you to experience it at all. So me holding up this pen right here, I am experiencing this in my consciousness. I am not experiencing it right here. I am touching this with my fingers, which is sending a signal. Let me see how to do that. Sending a signal all the way up the arm, up into my brain, and then my brain interprets it, and then my consciousness says, "Ha, it's a pen. I am touching it." I am not experiencing it here. I'm experiencing it in my head. So therefore, everything that I experience is consciousness. And even the headset, I'm experiencing it in my head, all in my consciousness. So that's the kind of the middle ground for me. where everything is technically consciousness, but it's still in a sense materialistic as well, as in it's happening in my head, as opposed to Advaita Vedanta where everything is consciousness, which is pretty true for that, because everything I experience is in my consciousness. Even the person talking to me, even you are experiencing me in your consciousness. But it's not, I don't know, I just don't know if Advaita Vedanta says that this body is also pure consciousness. I think it does, but I can't remember if it says that or not. But yes. Okay, let me pause it and let me get the other one started. Okay, so this one looks a lot older and it's just called Maya. So let's go ahead and find out what this is. It's from a Hindu Academy as well, with Lakhani, I believe.
The second word the Hindus use to live with suffering, not to kind of remove suffering, you can't do that, unfortunately, we are in trouble, is the word Maya. They say the world that we are so fixated on is an appearance. You say, but appearance, I'm dying, I'm suffering, the animals are suffering. What's a horrible thing? And the Hindus kind of address this in a much more deeper way. I'm going to touch it in 5 minutes, very important. They say, let us analyze suffering. What is suffering all about? They said there are 3 kinds of suffering. We all analyze suffering. First, physical suffering. You're getting close to your, your dinner time and you're feeling pangs of hunger. It's physical suffering. Our poor people in the third world suffering because there's no food. Pangs, suffering. So why is that? The Hindu answer is, when the spirit, this thing called Atman, takes on a material frame, enters the material frame, it pays a tax for it. Physical suffering, unavoidable. Old age, disease and death, inevitable. That's the price the spirit pays for hanging on to a physical frame. A tax that you pay for having a body is the reason why you have physical suffering. You may think you've never thought like that. Think about it. Suppose you put your finger in the fire, you go, ouch! What's happening? You see, the self-defense mechanism you possess is telling you, pull your finger out, else you'll die. You're an idiot, pull it out. So that's why it has to be a sharp pang. Ouch! So that's why suffering is nothing but a self-defense mechanism telling you, you want to hang on to your body, pull your finger out.
That's what Sadhguru was talking about, how our senses is great for survival. That's what it's made for, absolutely. And there are people out there who don't feel pain. And I remember when I was young, I was thinking, like, oh man, it's fantastic, not to feel pain. But then they explain, like, if you don't feel pain, you don't know if you're burning your hand or not. Like, oh wow, actually, I guess pain is a good pain is a good thing. And then also later on I joke around saying that, it lets you know that you're still alive. Jokingly saying that, but it's a joking in reality, because it's true. I mean, if you're feeling pain, you know that you're still alive, because if you stop feeling pain, something's wrong. And it's not to say that maybe your pain receptor is not working or something else.
Why you get pangs of hunger? Because your body is telling you eat, idiot, you eat, otherwise you'll die. So suppose the pangs of hunger were very sweet. You go, oh, I'm lying, so lovely. There's not hard, harsh. Then you'll die because you won't eat anymore. So they have to be, they must sting you. That's why they are harsh. So when you really analyze physical suffering, it is your bodily mechanism using self-defense mechanism. That's why you are hurt. You get a thorn in your side, you scream. You want to pull it out. You want to hang on to your body. You pay a tax. Suffering. The second kind of suffering, this is what most human beings suffer. With animals, it's physical suffering.
Emotional?
The second kind of suffering is mental suffering. What's the source of this? Think about it, all of you. The reason why you have mental suffering, and all of you, look, if I go to third world country and look at the youngsters there, they are lit up and laughing and smiling. When I look at the boys at Eton, they are stressed. And they look so much under pressure. Mental suffering, where does it come from?
And that I completely agree with them. It's something, again, this is why I believe there's an entitlement issue in the United States. Now, I don't know what amount of people have this entitlement. I don't know if it's the majority or the minority. It is a growing number. And I think it's because of all this comfort, all this, I won't say luxury, but it's just there's an abundance of things that are relatively affordable to the mass, there are a lot of people out there who thinks that they're poor, but it's just because they have bad spending habits. They want to buy the finest things, and if they can't afford the finest things, they think they're poor. And they don't appreciate the things that they have. Kind of like when fashion being one of the things where, they buy like expensive clothes, and they care very much about their clothes and barely care about human beings. It's, again, I don't think it's the majority, but there are people out there like that, and I think it's growing. I don't know. I mean, I'm lucky enough that I don't see that kind of entitlement around me, but I do see some entitlement around me, and you can kind of see it online, and I just hope that it's a minority. It's just, yes, I think luxury, getting the 3 needs, food, thirst, and shelter, taken care of, and once those are taken care of, like Sadhguru said, hunger, 1 problem, hunger fulfilled, 99 problems. That's that entitlement thing where you start, oh, now I need this and that and this.
Because of unfulfilled desires. You've been asked, you have to come here, then you have to go to Oxford and then land the top job. Your parents have been gearing you for that. It creates a tremendous suffering. Desires, unfulfilled desires or frustrated desires create tremendous suffering. Desires is the source of mental. This is Buddhism, whole of Buddhism. Desires are the source of suffering.
Free e-learning.
Whoa, what's the third one? Oh no. He said 3, right? Physical, mental, which I think mental is both emotion and knowledge. I think so. Thoughts and emotions, let me put it that way. But both are kind of linked to some degree. Like when you have a thought about something, you'll generally get emotional about it. Without a thought, you probably won't have an emotion. So those are relatively go hand in hand, thought and emotions. What is the third one though? Again, this was just labeled Maya, and it didn't look like he explained Maya. Maya is usually an illusion. But I guess it's the illusion that your body's suffering, that you're suffering in reality or not. Perhaps. I'm not sure. And then to get over the third part, wait, is there more? There's a little bit more, but it's just advertisement for... Huh. There was more that I wanted to say, but I don't quite remember it, so I'm going to have to end it right here just to make it short. So that's my reaction to what is Maya and Maya. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.